to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, everybody, to the winter meeting.
Yeah, it is winter.
That's on April 7th, on Monday. Really cold out. Did everybody get a copy of the minutes?
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Any,
I had one nit that mine fixed.
and which was that?
Career instead of career.
Career.
Any other additions or deletions?
No, it looked very good.
All in favor?
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here. Okay.
Oh. And I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And Maura, Councilwoman Maura abstains, because she was not at the meeting. Okay.
I think that was the first meeting I missed.
Ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
I think so too.
I was sad, but I couldn't come. It was good that you didn't come.
Yeah, it was better than you didn't.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, the meeting got over much
You did say
quicker.
that.
I'm only kidding.
But
I think that's
I'm
on. I think that's
kidding.
on the recording.
I'm only kidding. Deputy Supervisor Szymanski on
Yeah.
EMS.
Yes. I will start off by saying that I got a phone call today from Mark, our liaison. When we first set up the ambulance district, it was a temporary CON. Okay, so they give you a certain amount of months to get your stuff together and get your operations moving.
CON,
Certificate of need with the state.
just want to make sure that.
Yes, I'm so used to using the word. So the state has to formally approve us. We have 8 months to do this. Mark's on top of it already. He's so very good at it. He and I will have a conference call Monday morning with the state at 10 a.m. to outline the steps that we have to do. We will then probably come in here together because we'll have to get documents that are here, and I don't want to make it extra work if we don't have to. So we will probably do that, not next week, maybe the week after. But we have 8 months, so we should be okay. They're very helpful also. They're not, they wouldn't stop us from doing this. They will only help us to get it done appropriately the first time. They're help rather than a hindrance. That was the word I was looking for.
So just one quick thing. I was out in Southampton on Long Island over the weekend and met a firefighter who is going into their police department next week. And she talked about our EMS.
Wow.
She said, wait, Pelham? Are you volunteer? You work with another? She didn't know the whole
Yeah.
story, but she knew of it all.
That's because it is being spoken
Exactly.
about at the state level as a real solution. It's very interesting that I have never gotten a follow-up phone call from our previous vendor asking how things were going at all, so I think that's a good thing.
So she was very happy with the way things are going and not using
Right,
a for-profit organization.
right. This is
She
definitely
was very opinionated about it and, saying we were doing
this is probably
as a
the
practitioner.
best thing we've ever done. So for the month of March, we had 100 total calls. 23 of those outbound calls were mutual aid and requests, which we fulfilled. 3 total mutual aid into the town with 38 medic, which is our fly car, completing the ALS crew for 2 of them. They went to 2 different patient destinations, and I think these 2 are important to talk about. One went to Greenwich. That's a special request that they took. It was a 1-year-old baby. And that's where the physicians were, and they said, yes, we'll take you. A little out of the ordinary, but we'll take you. The second one was a gentleman who passed out in Pelham who had a special heart valve. And he had to go downtown to NYU Presbyterian Manhattan because that was the only hospital that could take care of him. So, of course, they accommodated him.
Wow,
for
that's
that.
amazing.
So he just wanted to tell the community that, they will honor going to specific places, especially if it's so life-sustaining. The split between the two villages was, if I can see this here, 40 in the village of Pelham and 37 in the village of Pelham Manor. Response time 5 minutes 7 seconds. Finally got it right.
Yes,
Thank you. It only took a year. On scene time 18 minutes 87 seconds. Well, that doesn't make sense, but I'll have to ask them about that. Transport 13 minutes 48 seconds. Turnaround time is about a half an hour at each hospital. So, any questions? They did a couple of impromptu touch the truck things. They're very responsive. Like, I think Rudy got a email or a phone call on a Tuesday. She gave it to me. I called him Tuesday, did it Wednesday. You know, so it's like last minute, could you come? Could you bring the truck here? Could you bring this here? So they will do that. The other thing is, everybody's seen the structure. It's up in the parking lot. Were you going to report on that, Dan? Okay, shall we? Okay. I know Synergia Electric was here last week electrifying it. They're very happy. We even saw them both parked in there one day, the fly car and the ambulance. Now the next thing is getting the quarters appropriately done here. Once the quarters are appropriately done here, we will permanently bring the fly car, and they will both be here underneath the little portico, and all the staff will be here.
And we're meeting.
Thursday? Is it Thursday? With Phil to go over last minute details to get it done. The quicker the better.
Get what done?
The quarters
Quarters,
downstairs, you know,
right.
the thing is female, male.
Right.
We have to have a certain thing for females, and we have to do it.
Right.
It's the right thing to do.
But this sounds like it's soon.
Oh, yeah.
And Bill is Bill.
Phil.
Bill.
Yes,
Oh, Bill. Sorry, I thought you said Bill.
Phil.
And the reason we want to get that done as quickly as possible is we want to get the field room back.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the other thing they're very good at. Mike sent me an email, or Dan and I and Rudy an email last week, or Molly, about using the Gill Room for the Easter hunt and all of this over the weekend. And I sent it to Mark, and he's like, fine, we'll be out of there. No worries, you can have it.
So Phil's already gotten several quotes about downstairs, but he wants to go over that with us before we come to the board with it. So,
We have a real picture of it.
all right, so that's what's gonna happen Thursday.
Did you want to mention that?
Oh, thank you, Maura. Yes, Mark's working on a Facebook page for Pelham EMS. We do have an Instagram page, but the Facebook page could respond to some of the questions that the community has that could be long and involved, and you're not going to put like 17 paragraphs on a list, you know. So he's willing to be like the middleman to
That's
say,
great.
oh, call this number, I'll explain it to you. So they're working on
That's
it.
great.
Yes, and answer quick questions that might need to be.
Any other questions? Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Councilwoman McLaughlin on recreation.
Thank you. Ray Schmansky and I just presented the Prospect Boys and Silenoid Girls 4th, 5th grade basketball champions with their plaques. Congratulations to both teams. The plaques will be hung up in their respective schools, and there's, I think, still celebrating over there with pizza and cookies and lots of chips and Fanta.
Not to interrupt, but I did share with them that Dan does give us feedback all the time about our recreation department.
Right.
And how this little town of 12,000 people can be talked about in this county as having one of the best recreation departments in the county. So I did share that with them over there, and they were all kind of perked up a little.
Exactly, and the parents definitely.
Yeah.
So, and the entire rec commission was there as well, cheering them on, and their coaches. The spring event is this Saturday at April 12th at 10 a.m. The hunt will begin at 10 a.m. sharp. I recommend being here by 9:45 because once the bell goes off, Bags are gone. They'll have music, arts and crafts, a face painter, and a visit from a very large bunny. The rain date is set for Sunday, April 13th at 10 a.m. So the next day.
Probably gonna rain.
It's gonna rain for us. Registration for spring break camps, April 14th to the 17th, is still open. A few things have filled up, but contact the website or call the recreation department for more information. There's a new Saturday program for elementary school students called Fashion Design, and I believe that is in Toronto Townhouse. They had a free clinic for girls flag football with over 40 girls showing up. The varsity football coach helped out with a bunch of the varsity players volunteered to help. Now and then 22 of the 40 girls signed up, which
I think that's a lot of girls, if you ask me.
pretty amazing, and it's the same number for boys, so that's pretty exciting. And they have a new program for adults called Learn to Play Mahjong. That starts April 23rd. I understand Councilwoman Curtin has already signed up, and the class is full, and there's many on the wait list, so sign up on the wait list, and they're
Question.
working on getting a second class. So Supervisor McLaughlin's wife will get it. Our seniors are always busy with their Monday club, their Tuesday and Thursday exercises, their cards on Wednesday and Friday. Yoga is also on Friday. They have several luncheons planned for the next month. Just to put things on your radar, it will get warm again, and the concerts will start in June. Monday nights, starting at 7:30, out on the gazebo park.
Are we gonna try to grow
We're gonna what?
grass?
I don't know, maybe we should take turfs.
Sorry.
And just a reminder, the Residents Emergency Assist List, Pelham and Pelham Manor Police Departments in the town of Pelham are establishing a list of senior citizens and residents with special needs who reside in the village of Pelham and Pelham Manor. This list will provide us with important contact information so we can access in the event of adverse weather or power emergencies, and we are able to contact these residents just to check on their well-being. The contact should be family members, friends, and neighbors, and all of this information is definitely kept confidential. Contact Carolyn Beef, the senior citizen advocate in the recreation department, to get on that list.
Is that going in the town update? We should put that in.
I think it was in the last
Yeah.
one, but I can put it in like, it could be like a perennial thing.
Yeah,
I think so.
that's a good
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
just to keep that going.
I think so,
Um,
for sure.
And then I have some exciting news about Pelham Together, which is the youth development organization that the town supports. We had a very exciting a night together for Pelham Together, which was their first adults event. Councilwoman Curtin, myself, and Supervisor McLaughlin were all there to bowl and enjoy each other's company. They raised $12,000, which was pretty exciting.
That's okay, I'll get it from you.
Their next town hall is how do young people define being who a trusted adult is, and that will be on April 29th at 7 p.m. I believe at Toronto. They're going to do an overnight for mental health awareness called Mental Health Never Sleeps. That'll be Saturday, May 3rd at Glover Field. And there's an intern networking night at TD Bank on June 12th at 7 p.m. They are still looking for mentor/internship opportunities for the youth. There's information on the Pelham Together website. I know the town always takes Some also exciting things they did an LA fire relief package in February, sixth grade skate night, mental health matters day up at in Albany, where they met with Assemblywoman Holland and Senator Fernandez, and then 2 or 3 others, and they were advocates for themselves, and they talked about what mental health means to them, how adults can support them. They talked a lot about are cell phones good or bad for them, and they're coming back with a whole list of things on how to present to both the school district, and they may come to one of our meetings and present how they can get the recreation department and others.
Do they do an annual report?
Yes, they do. And it's all on the website.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing some amazing work with both mental health. They have been awarded this year's year 2 grant from the federal government. It looks like this will continue. It's year 2 of the 10-year program. The reason they think it'll continue going forward is because there was a call for new
New request.
proposals, a new RFP that was put out for other organizations, and that is for drug and alcohol prevention, addiction prevention. So, and they have 2 new employees who will be supporting them in their efforts.
That's a good job.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
And other organizations similar to them are looking also at this model, how it was part of the town and now it's a separate 501c3 and the pass-through of funding, et cetera, for several different types of grants.
In line with that internship thing, I met with them and signed a resolution and something else for the state so they can get their internship funds for next year.
Oh, great.
And
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a big program.
last week we did that.
Yeah, they had 70 applications and right now they only have 33 spots, I think. So if anybody knows anybody, either reach out to me or go to the Pelham Together website.
Okay, any questions? All right, thank you, Councilwoman McLaughlin. Councilwoman Burke on the court and legal.
Okay, not a lot from the courts. They are submitting letters to Senator Schumer and Gillibrand for grant. They really need a new transport vehicle, as we talked about last time. I know that there's, we're using a grant writer, researcher, all that. Was there any money for the courts that we knew that was available? I don't really
Didn't we
remember.
mention the Buddy find money for this grant?
God.
Your grant?
Yeah.
No, my grandmother, she's asked about the judge. Are you
Well,
the judge?
I'm asking about, like, the judges are submitting
I asked them to submit
letters.
the letters.
And it was part of the,
Package.
that's what I thought. Okay, sorry for the disconnect. Now it makes sense. Okay,
The grant writer said,
yes,
he actually sent us copies of the letters and said, these would help if you could get somebody to support.
that's right. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Okay, that's what I thought. Great. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I have my reports, but I'll just mention quickly the Glover, the Glover Field, the survey is now closed. I mean, I think there's been some pretty amazing feedback. We had several people kind of just write to us separately, which we're gonna forward along to the group. I don't know why they didn't want to do the survey, but that's fine. So yeah, we're anxious to get the report back, and we're already into the spring season, which is really unfortunate. I mean, at least the walk light is working. I've seen the constable out there; they're still doing their thing. So hopefully by next season we'll have something in place. Something changed. I don't know if you had anything to add, Dan.
Not for the, you're not finished, right?
No, I'm not finished. The next piece is this NYSERDA transit mobility study that Dan and I have been working on. It is it has been a lot of work. It has been a lot of time. They've been pretty aggressive with the timeline. So this is where they're going to be doing like a community survey. It's a big survey because they're asking, they're targeting a lot of different groups. They're looking at school-age children, seniors, the Chamber of Commerce. So they're going to be doing a community survey, but then they're also doing individual interviews, the PTA, the school administration, Caroline Veith, so there's a lot of work going into this. We asked them to wait for the survey to be after spring break. It's not only, spring break is upon us next week already, but we have this bond that has really sort of occupied a lot of the community time and interest. We don't really want to take away from that. So I feel like, after spring break, hopefully people sort of know where they're landing with the bond, and then, we can get some community attention to this survey. But, they want to know the need of, where people are coming from, and, what people want to do with their time, recreational activities, shopping. And so it's a pretty comprehensive survey.
What times, what days, do you want the weekend or just the week?
And is this for Glover, or is this the whole town?
This is actually like a separate
This is totally
grant.
separate.
Oh, okay.
And it's this, we got this $100,000 grant, and all these people are doing this work for us, which is really fantastic. We don't even have to deal with the money aspect. We have these expert consultants sort of, getting paid directly from NYSERDA to sort of do this work for us. But we've had to provide a lot of information on like the V line that runs through here, and children's centers, student data, school data. So we've had to come up with a lot of information, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
they
really
will be
excited about
interesting.
it.
And the reason they're asking all these questions is they're looking also ahead, if in fact the study says we should try to do something like that. Are there grants because of the age groups or because of the school?
Right.
So
Right.
that was a lot of the reasons of the questions that they've been asking. And there's at least six working on it, at least.
Dan and I feel very outnumbered. They were like weekly for a while. Now they're like every other week, and they have like info sessions that you can attend, and they have a lot of information. But we will be adding information for more to put in the town update. But they have strict guidelines on the communications, so I have to just run through that, and then I'll share that with you.
It's not funded, it's supported.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Big word that
Yeah.
they said.
Supported, not funded. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we can get the B line to actually go to the train station.
I know. I mean, it's close though, right? I mean, what is it?
But it doesn't time with.
It doesn't.
It doesn't time with trains.
Right.
Remember at the WOMA meeting, and I asked that question, they were like, yeah, no.
Yes. But I mean, these are exactly the types of things that, right? And they got the Beeline people. The county gave us all this data on the routes and the timing and everything, and so yeah.
When I first moved to Westchester, I had that argument with the folks.
But I'm gonna be really dumb, because I've driven my whole life and like took a bus 5 times, but is there a bus that goes down Fifth Avenue?
There's a bus that goes
Goes down
down
Fifth
Fifth Avenue.
And what is that bus number?
There's a stop up by, there's a
He
stop
comes
up
from
by
Mount-
us on.
I
comes
thought
from
it was
Mount
like
Vernon.
It's like 42, I think.
And then where does it turn? It turns.
Comes from Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
A lot of the
And it goes
teenagers
to-
use it.
They
A
do?
lot of the teenagers, my kids use it. A lot of the kids, coming from North Pelham to school use it.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a stop right on the corner of Willow and Fifth.
Yeah.
Right in front of the Sanborn Bank building.
And it goes
Oh,
down
that
right in
I
front
know.
of
Yeah.
kind of by Bellagio.
I just
There's a
never,
stop right
I
there.
never see them
Right.
come down Fifth, because it's a torture to come down Fifth
Yeah.
Avenue now, but you never really,
No.
I never see them. Thank you, sorry.
No, of course. So, all right, any questions on this? No, if not, I will do my reports as quickly as possible. Oh, that makes sense, because we were behind, right? Yep. Okay, so I'll do the receiver of taxes report for the month of March 2025. School taxes received an amount of $147,661.12. School collection fee received $1,245.37. Duplicate payments for the school were $7,044.25. And that was for a refund, sorry, that's a refund. And then penalties and interest for the school received $14,890.14. Taxpayers agreement received $2,472.32. Miscellaneous received $41. Pro ratas received $6,764.05. For a total received $173,074. Okay. Lord. Just started needing glasses.
Yeah.
Must say they're cheaters. Wow, I am finally officially getting old. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so yes, for the month of, this is the justice reports. For the month of February 2025, Justice Kagan received an amount of $46,335, and Justice Gardner received $13,023. And for the month of March, Justice Kagan received an amount of $26,030, and Justice Gardner received $39,820. This is very convenient. Thank you. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councilwoman Kirk.
On the library.
I think we should make that a song.
Yes, it's the library. So April is, I don't know if it's Earth Month, but it's Earth Day in April, like the 22nd is Earth Day. And the library has a couple of things going on. One I'm really excited about, this Thursday, April 10th at 7 o'clock, the library is going to host a kickoff of the Pelham Tree Conservancy, which is a new organization. I know who's spearheading it, but I don't want to say it right now. I'll tell you next month after I go. And with the Environmental Coalition of Pelhams, which is also known as EcoPel. So they're going to have a keynote speaker, assistant professor at CUNY, to talk about the critical role trees play in our local, and everyone on this board knows how much I love trees, so I can feel the.
We're not giving
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I heard a chainsaw the other day in my backyard, and I had a little panic attack. But that's just my own personal. I don't like trees being cut down. But you know, and also like if you go to Google Maps, you can look at older photos of your house.
I have probably a lot of trees.
My house is surrounded by enormous trees.
Well, they probably had to be cut so that
They either
a
fell-
hurricane
they-
didn't fall off.
No, they either fell down from age or storms, or they had to be cut down. But the problem is, they're not being replaced fast enough. I actually planted 2 trees in my yard, but that's just me. But you can also see the canopy is like lessening. So the goal of this new tree conservancy is to plant 300 native trees this year, which would be amazing. And that's on April 10th, this Thursday. On April 12th, Saturday, the Pelham Girl Scout Troop 2617 and EcoPel again is going to do a program where you learn how to transform unused grass spaces into thriving wildlife habitats. So that's kind of a cool program. It's kind of the, like, grass is not always the best idea for every situation as far as flooding and retention and stuff like that. Beginning Tuesday in April 29th, the library is going to offer a drop-in mahjong for adults age 18 and up from noon to 2:30. So this program is for participants who are familiar with mahjong. The program at REC is starting on April 23rd is for like real beginners who've never played before, who want to learn how to play. So that's exciting. And then I wanted to tell you that I know it's hard to believe, but Novel Night is once again upon us this October 4th. It was the year before, 2023. October 4th, 2025, and it's the main fundraiser for the Town of Pelham Public Library. They're looking for hosts to have book-themed dinners, and if you're interested, there's information on the Town of Pelham website, as there's all this information is all there. And there's a library trustee meeting this Wednesday, April 9th, so I will be attending that. Does anybody have any questions? That's my library report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Curtin. Okay. supervisor's report. I attended another Eagle Scout ceremony. I think, I don't know, it seems to me like I've attended
A lot.
20, 25 of them, which is terrific. It really is terrific. And, the people that were honored was Matthew James Johnson and Julian Frank Kalor. Matthew did at the outside park up in New Rochelle and made it, beautified it so they could use it for the preschoolers and things like that. And the woman from the New Rochelle Y was there thanking him and telling all the other scouts, whatever program you wanted to do in New Rochelle, please come to me. When I got it, I killed that. I killed that immediately. Julian took care of something that my 3.5-year-old grandson said was bad. My 3.5-year-old grandson went into Manor Park bathroom. He came out and said, "That bathroom's bad, Daddy." He cleaned up the bathroom.
Wow.
Painted it, and supposedly did a tremendous job.
Shore Park,
Shore Park.
yes.
Right, sorry.
That's okay, my brain was like, where's Manor Park?
Yeah, Shore Park. The people that run the Boy Scouts have done a tremendous
Yeah,
job.
it looks phenomenal.
Tremendous job. So, and I let them know that. At the ceremony was County Executive Jenkins, plus Mayor Labby, plus the American Legion, plus Legislative Clemens, and a representative for Amy, but Amy couldn't make it. But they did a great job. It was very nice. I went to, the Rotary invited me this past Wednesday to present to their members what we do and how we do it. Now, I've done it in the past, and this time we added the ambulance, this time we added a few other things. They're very appreciative of the visit, and they probably asked me somebody else again to go, but they've done a great job, and they appreciated my visit. Okay,
They also just upped their scholarship.
Yeah, I saw
right,
that. Yeah.
right.
It's a $20,000 scholarship now,
Oh, wow.
which is substantial.
For one person?
One person.
But they give it over 4 years,
Oh, for 4 years.
But still.
where the civics give it the
Right
one
away.
shot. But yeah, it's great. It really is. Well, they do a lot of things with the school. They do
They
the
do.
Rotary of the month, the Scholar of the Month.
Right.
They do a nice job. I'd like to talk about the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 messages.
Because everybody's talking about the parking lot. Everybody wants it.
Who's there?
You name it, they probably have asked for it.
I'd like a parking spot.
You need to.
Well, you can get one,
Exactly.
maybe.
So with all the police leaving, everybody
You
thought,
just said no.
Maybe it's just 2 minutes.
everybody thought we had like another 10 spots. We didn't have another 10 spots because they were triple parking.
Yeah,
Okay.
right, yeah.
So we had about another 6 spots. that came out of it. We took 3 of those spots when we put
Right.
the storage
Right.
shed up. You also had, when they all 3 employees started working out of here, we have to give them 3 spots. So
Yeah.
they go to 6 right away.
Right.
Right away. But we did have 2 to 4 others, and what we decided by looking at a chart and trying to answer requests, senior citizens wanted another handicap spot, and they've been asking for another handicap spot forever. The children's center has been asking for 2 or 3 more spots forever. So we're going to give 1 handicap spot to the senior citizens, and then 1 extra spot to the children's center. We're going to leave 2 spots open for people visiting and/or the charger thing.
Okay,
We do it.
good.
And that's it. We're done.
That's all we
Yeah.
Now, before we do all of that, we have to repave the lot. If anybody's walking there at night, you can break your ankle. And I shouldn't have said that on.
No, you should not.
Well,
The lawyer.
Can we edit
There are
that out?
sinkholes.
Uh,
Well, it
Didn't
really,
mean that.
really is, you really,
Yeah,
you
speak
really
up.
should walk through it anyway, it is private property.
True. So. we
Yeah.
could-
You really shouldn't Well,
You're right.
isn't there a sign that
Says
says
no
that?
dogs.
No dogs, but does it say no trespassing?
No.
I don't think it says no trespass.
It doesn't say no thoroughfare. It doesn't say that. We might do that.
Yeah,
Is
I
there-
think we should think about that
How
when
do
we
we,
repave.
how do we, take back the spots right in front of town
So
hall?
I was gonna ask Maura.
Oh, the
because they don't
police
know
spot?
anymore.
So the police can
We
pull
have
up.
nothing
We have
to
nothing to
do
do
with
with
that.
that.
All right, so
We
maybe
should
we
probably
can
talk
talk
to
to
the
Village
village.
Chance and
Yeah.
maybe those could become
The handicap
The
spot.
handy,
That's
because that's
exactly right.
where the seniors want it.
and they want
Yeah.
to come and they pay their tax, whatever
Yeah.
they want to do here.
So before we reassign all
Right
these
here.
spots,
Here,
before we put up
not
new
just-
signs, we have to repave the lot. Bill Beesamon is getting quotes as we speak, and I'll come back to the board with that when we get those.
Can I ask a question? Do we wanna fill potholes first, and then when we figure out what we're doing in both of these? Because things are gonna get ripped up when we start doing any kind of, construction.
What's gonna get ripped up?
Well, I
Parking
would
lot?
assume when they're doing the elevator that we're gonna have trucks in the parking lot.
I would say you'd probably have one truck.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
When
I'm
we-
just asking.
When we pulled out the jails 2-3 weeks ago, we only had one.
Okay. Oh, they're gone? Good.
They're gone, yeah, they're gone, thank God. I don't think that would be a problem, I think more importantly, to get that parking lot into shape and get those assigned, I would like to get that done. Like I said, I'd like to get the library, the elevator done also.
Mhm.
Once we do the elevator, then everything else will just fall in,
Right, okay.
all right?
I just
Okay,
don't wanna
Do
do
it
something
twice.
in the wrong order and then have to redo it,
okay.
I agree.
right?
We may be able to
Yes.
find out from whoever we select.
We
I think
should.
I think overall, maybe just an idea to look into is filling in some of the areas where there
It's
are.
already been done.
Oh, it has?
I was just gonna say, we've already done that.
Okay.
When we hit one of them, you'll see some of it.
Yeah.
But all we're doing is patching.
Mhm.
So we gotta get. I did go to the Little League Parade. I can't believe that many kids were in town.
I know, it's amazing.
It was unbelievable, really unbelievable. Thank God it was nice enough day that we could be out there. So, new business, the reappointment of
Oh,
the.
wait, I have one old business. Where are we with, the county property?
The county, you mean the
Next to the post
Heard-
office.
well,
Didn't I report that?
last time?
Not today.
Last time we
Yeah,
talked
last
about
time.
it.
I forget, sorry.
They-
No, but didn't I report what the final?
No?
No, I
No.
don't think so. I think you,
I got a phone call on Friday night. I never told anybody about that
No.
phone call.
No.
This
Me.
last part?
me,
Oh, you didn't tell us,
Can't
sorry.
believe it. I got a phone call on Friday night at 5:30.
it might have been in between the meetings, that's why you didn't.
From County Executive Jenkins. And he gave me the final proposal, which is the proposal to take over the piece of property for
50,000.
$50,000.
Okay,
We did know
yeah,
that. Yeah.
but it wasn't cemented, I don't think.
Well, we didn't
Last
make a
time.
decision on whether we were
Okay.
going to do it, if that's what
Okay.
you're asking.
So I told County Executive, thank you very much. We'll be working on doing something, and it'll take us time to get it all put together. And I also have a commitment from the Assemblyman to help with that payment.
Assemblywoman Paulin?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
So we first got to do downstairs, get them out of
Yes,
this,
Okay.
yes.
get
yes.
this, and we'll be working on it.
Yeah, the
Yes.
pressure's off on making,
Yes,
moving
okay.
forward.
It is.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just
I apologize. I think
didn't
about
know.
it so much, I thought I told everybody. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
You might have told individuals, but we didn't
That's
report
what
on
it
it.
is. It was in between the board
Yeah.
meetings.
That's probably what happened. Okay, we have to reappoint the assessor. The assessor is reappointed for 6 years, and it's a reappointment for for your assessor, and it needs to be done by October 31st
Of this year.
of this year. I put it on the agenda because one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that, number one, all of his continuing education status, it has been met. So he's up to date on everything he has to do, and we need to reappoint him, and it's a 6-year reappointment. Do I have a motion to reappoint Joe Tataglia as assessor?
Go ahead, so moved. And then we can
Second.
discuss.
Second.
Discussion.
Can you share all that information with us? So we can
This was in our town.
No, not that. Well, that would be good to know, but no, all the credits and things that he's done, just to review it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we can make
My
copies of it.
question
I'm
is-
not sure you'd understand what he
We-
needs to do.
Right, no, I know.
We do appointments at the organizational meeting, but that's
Right.
just for
It's a lot-
one
it's a diff-
year.
yeah. This is a different,
This
we
is
always used to do
different. This
Michelle.
is, okay.
So this is appointing him beginning October 1st, 2025, and then ending September 30th, 2031.
That's correct.
But why do you want, I'm just wondering why we're doing it in April. Just curious.
Because this was in our town and reminded
Oh.
me to do it.
Okay.
That's all right.
And it has
But
to
we
be.
don't have to do
Well,
it
you can
tonight.
do it now and you say effective
Yeah,
October
that's-
1st.
that's-
fine.
That's what that says.
Right.
That's what the resolution
Yeah,
says.
that's fine.
Okay. I just wanted to read more about why 6 years. That's what I'm curious.
It's-
That's
I think
by
that's
state
the way it
aid.
is.
That's the
Do you want
state.
me to read it before? we vote?
No. So let's table it for the.
Okay.
the
Yeah.
next
Let's look at it
meeting
in
in April, but.
Is that okay? We'll do it in May, or we'll
Yeah,
come back to it in May?
I said at the next meeting.
okay.
Um, But it's not something that we legislate, it's something that state
Gotcha.
legislates.
Okay. And then I'll make a copy of this for everyone. I
Is
didn't
that
either.
this one?
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
from about
January,
2
February
months ago.
2025.
Oh,
But I don't remember seeing
I don't
this.
remember that one
But I
either.
usually get it at my house.
Me too.
No, thank God that we don't have a course on that. We would have to say you didn't check all the points.
I know.
I usually highlight
I'll
them
make, I
and
know.
send them
I'll make
along.
a copy and I'll give it to everybody and say, "Come on, share."
Do you want this too?
No,
Yeah.
this is
Laura?
just to discuss, yeah.
Okay,
Then we're gonna-
we did get a memo from the tax receiver regarding the payment of taxes on lot number 05/166-288-1-10. And I recommend we take no action. Everybody read it?
I second, but, or.
Yes, I read it
All in
and I
favor?
agree.
All in
Yes,
favor?
all in
Aye.
favor.
Okay.
Aye.
That takes care of that. Okay. On the elevator, I sent out to everyone the 2 responses that I received from architects. Both of them are very familiar with municipal elevators. One of them came in with actual pictures of things that they've done on elevators. But Councilwoman Curtin would like to have a member that used to be in the library, or Karen Thelma, give a quote. So she couldn't make it here before this meeting, so if you could get that done before the end of the month, so we can go over it in May.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, the only reason why I'm saying that too is because the 2 quotes were so vastly, it wasn't like you had a quote within like a little bit of
Big
each other.
differences.
But
And I just,
I agree with what you said, but the person with the lower quote seemed to be more knowledgeable.
That's what it
in-
seemed.
In what, I mean, the person literally came here with pictures
yes,
of what
yes.
they've done.
If you want to move forward with that and time is of the essence, I don't have a problem. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I do think just because it was so vastly different, I was curious what a third person would say. But since it's not here, I don't want to hold anybody up, and I don't want to hold the project up. So if you want to vote on that, or I don't know if it needs a vote under a certain amount.
Well, the reason I was bringing it to the vote is because the first one wasn't under a certain amount.
Correct. Right.
And that's why I
Yes.
brought it to vote, but I think we should be voting on it
Yes,
anyway.
yeah.
as a group.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm more than, like, I couldn't, it was a little bit, I just wasn't enough time, which people have things scheduled, but
Yes.
if you all wanna move forward with it, I don't have a problem, voting on that.
Well, do I have a motion to hire the architect firm which has the lower quote?
I second. I make the motion.
Second,
Second.
let's discuss. Do we want to hold off? Or let the board decide what they want to do?
I'm comfortable.
Go
I'm okay with
going.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable going.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. I think that's a good move, by the way.
I do
Really
too.
Yeah, like I said, but I hope you understand why.
Yeah.
I was thinking that second quote was one line, and 'cause those two things matched.
Yeah,
And then
I
I
understood
read,
completely with, because I did the same thing.
right.
I did the same thing. Okay, anything else before we open it for public comment? Public comment, does anybody have any public comment?
I did want to,
Please come and identify yourself and your address. Oh, you can face that.
you just, yeah, just,
But then speak into here.
yeah. He's there.
And then jump
Just-
it. 15 times.
And then
Just don't whisper.
And talk.
I wanted to introduce myself. My name is David Montilla. I am the communications director for Senator Natalia Fernandez. I wanted to come and offer some updates that are happening in the nearby neighborhood. So I'll start with a paper shredding event that we're hosting at the New Rochelle train station. It is right now scheduled for April 11th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Give me 1 second to confirm that though, because I think we might have gotten confirmation today. Sorry, I know
All right, that's fine.
going on the record, so let me make sure I got that right. And here we go. Okay, yes, April 11th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We are also having free mammograms in the Bronx at Castle Hill Boys and Girls Club for Women's Health Month. This is going to be on May 29th, 2025. As we approach, I'm probably going to be at more of these events, so I'll just remind it until we reach the day of. We are also partnering with the American Red Cross to spread the word about a major smoke alarm installation event in New Rochelle on May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're offering free smoke alarm installations. We also have flyers available for that as well. And I think, on the legislative front in Albany, Senator Fernandez is calling on the New York's congressional delegation to end the freeze on federal funds that support substance use disorder services, mental health care, and public health programs throughout the state. And in addition, a letter was sent to Governor Hochul as well requesting the allocation of funds for a 60-day period to prevent disruptions in vital services. Also, right now, the legislature and the governor are working together to finalize the state budget for this fiscal year. The budget is due on April 1st, but as per government, it's a little behind. However, there are a handful of policy negotiations holding it up, specifically around mask bans, cell phones in schools, involuntary commitment, and discovery reform. Other than that, I'm open to questions. Anybody has?
Can I get your card?
I do not
Okay,
have it
that's
at the
fine.
moment. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
But,
I'll reach out to Senator Fernandez.
sure. Can I
Yeah.
give you my email as well for anybody
Yes,
who would
that's
like to
perfect.
reach out to us? So that is Montilla, Montilla @nysenate.gov.
No, you could always email one of those for short here,
Yeah.
to Molly. We can print them, and they
Okay.
might go well out in the townhouses, even out for seniors. Like free smoke alarms might help
Yes.
some of our seniors. So
Absolutely.
if we get
Remember
it
we
out
did
there,
that program 2 years ago, I think?
Yes, I would be happy to.
Yeah, that would be
I have
great.
your card. Should I send them to you, or
Yeah.
should I get Molly's
Molly,
Molly
contact
has it.
directly?
Thank
Molly?
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I have a question. I mean, sort of how stressed are they? This is budget time and potential shortfall from the federal government with in so many areas as we're seeing, but maybe even education, with the state
Right.
pushing back on the DEI initiatives. So I guess they sort of talking about, I don't know, what they're gonna do.
Yeah, so that is a big concern that we're having at the moment, because while on one hand we understand that there's going to be a shortfall in the expected funds for a lot of programs throughout the state, we have to figure out a way to make sure that we're filling that gap while
Yeah.
also being responsible with the funds that we give out. So,
Yeah. It's a difficult time.
yes.
So when you talk, oh, right, when you talk about the mask ban, that's specifically if you're protesting something, or it's really just across the board, you're not allowed to wear a mask?
No, so I believe, I hope I'm getting this correct, but I believe that it's banning masks in the subway specifically.
Okay.
Interesting.
I just, what I mean, like if you're, yeah, okay.
That's probably why the budget hasn't been passed yet.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Okay, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss a lease negotiation.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
You know what happened? Going back to,
72.
going back to that.
Wait, tell him to stop.
No, it wasn't.
I'll turn this on.
I know,